The top two reasons that most people tend to fail and fall is that one, they don't have a plan, and two, their plan is not realistic. So for trainers, we need to know this from the outset, that most people tend to kind of come into the fall season and they don't really get, like, even though they feel like because they're going to get back into a routine that things should be easier for them. But a lot of times they're just not taking into consideration just the mental space that takes up when you're getting back into a routine. If you don't have a plan, then right off the bat, you're going to come off of summer where, you know, it's hot and you're showing more skin and you're wearing less clothes. And so you kind of you're motivated to look your best, and there's fresh fruit and vegetables everywhere. So it's just like, it's a lot easier to kind of stick to your plan because of all of your surroundings. But as soon as you go into fall, you need to understand that things are going to change, and it shouldn't necessarily be a shock that they changed. So have a plan up front. Like, what are you going to do when it rains outside or snows? If you're in a place like, you know, like north where it starts snowing like as early as like October or November, what are you going to do on those days? What are you going to do when the kids have practice like 4 or 5 days a week? Which that was a huge thing for me as we switched from, you know, having a middle schooler to a high schooler that played sports, seeing that like they practice a lot. So the more that the years went by, the more that we realized that that was just going to be our lives for the next 4 years, is that my son was going to have either basketball practice or a game for, you know, like pretty much every day of the week, you know. And if your kids play like football or soccer, often that means the weekends too. So have a plan for what you're going to do. Like, know that those things are going to take place ahead of time. Don't let them catch you by surprise. Don't wait until the kids are back in school and all these things are happening and then wonder why, like, you can't get in your workout. Maybe in the summer you were working out at like 11 o'clock, but you know, the school year starts back and now you got to get the kids up. And maybe if you have a new kindergartner and you're realizing that, you know, they're in that like 2-hour thing that they do for kindergartners, and it kind of messes your whole day up. Know those things ahead of time and teach your clients how to know those things ahead of time so that they have a plan. What are you going to do when you're rushing around and getting the kids after you've come home from work and you have to go and maybe pick up kids? Or maybe there's the surprise kid that you didn't know that you were going to have to take home that you picked up with the other ones. So there's always going to be things that are going on that you need to think of ahead of time. Plan for sweets. Sweets are going to be everywhere. The colder it gets, the more sweets there are everywhere they go. So have a plan for it. What are you going to do? Football season, again, same thing, which maybe a lot of times women think that that doesn't necessarily affect them, maybe if they don't watch football, but if your husband watches it and maybe Sunday was a day that you guys were active or Monday was a day that you guys were active, then you need to know that that might change, or you may have to do something on your own, or that there's going to be, you know, more like whatever, crock pot stuff and meatballs and chili and nachos or whatever the types of things that he may usually have. If he's trying to have those things every single Sunday, then you need to have a plan ahead of time for what you're going to do. You want to know how are you going to motivate yourself on the low days? Because a lot of people don't realize that going into the cooler weather days, you are going to have them. The colder it gets, the more people go through like these lows, that by the time winter hits, like they're in a slump almost, like a depression. And you have to know that before it starts so that it doesn't surprise you or you feel like something's wrong because, you know, suddenly you're cold and you don't feel like getting up and going out and going to the gym. People just want to eat and stay home. Know that you're going to want to move less, period. You're going to want to just like snuggle up by the fireplace or something. You're not going to want to go out. You're not going to want to eat some of the stuff that might have been easier for you to eat in the summer. So if you know that, which that goes hand in hand with having the realistic plan, don't try to deny that those things are going to happen. Don't think that it's not like, you know, like, oh, everything's going to work out perfect. I'll just go anyways. Rain, sleet, or snow, I'm going to go to the gym. No, you won't. You're not going to want to go. So know that ahead of time and have a backup plan. Know that, you know, there's not going to be like farmers markets everywhere. As the colder it gets, the more all those things are going to shut down. The fresh fruits and vegetables aren't going to be everywhere like they maybe are now. So have a plan for what you're gonna do. What type of recipes will you make? What are some quick foods that you can throw in the crock pot? I saw somebody say crock pot recipes. What days can you make something that maybe you're craving, but make healthier versions of it? Don't tell yourself that you're just going to not eat the sweets all fall and winter long, because when you start thinking that stuff won't happen, then you're setting yourself up for all or nothing thinking, which means that the second that you do cave, or what you feel like is like caving to the pressure of that thing, then you develop the all or nothing mentality of like, oh, well, I screwed it up now, so I may as well just like eat, everything. Those are the two things that I feel are like the biggest. Don't expect things that happen every single year to change unless the entire situation changes.